All right, my partners, welcome in, y'all. We're going to be covering a very interesting topic today. It's going to be covering Trump's 401k for home down payment equity swap proposal. So basically, where President Trump is looking to attack the home affordability issues and the slowing down in the housing market by making yet another proposal as to where Americans will be able to use their 401ks as down payments towards property that they purchase or their primary home. So we're going to talk about some of the details of this proposal that we know of so far that was covered by Kevin Hassett, originally put out there. And we're going to go over, what the step-by-step of this looks like, potential pros and potential cons, and my final thoughts towards the end. We're not going to take too long on this one, but it's an interesting proposal, and I think that it could have some promise opposed to some of the other proposals that have been thrown out, like 50-year mortgages, for instance. Now, honestly, I think if anybody's going to love this, banks are going to love this. This proposal allows one asset to be used to help take down or gain control or get in on another asset and share in the equity of that new asset. And so banks are being in the middle of this both ways in some ways. And I think banks are going to love this, but I think this can work for many buyers that are cash strapped in the home buying process and struggling with the home affordability issues. So I appreciate you, my guy. Let me know about the volume. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy to be running my mouth for 10 minutes and I know that the volume's not on. But shout out to you, my guy, Credit Cousin in the building. So basically what we have is President Trump, again, addressing the home affordability crisis that has taken place after the health crisis of 2020, where essentially due to economic circumstances, housing prices shot through the roof. And due to the heating up of the economy, the Federal Reserve raised rates to slow down the pace of the economy and its growth. And home prices stayed high and the rates stayed high. So now we have a double-sided housing affordability issue. Now, what this has meant is that the average down payment went from $15,000 to over $30,000 in a matter of a couple years because the median house price jumped nearly double in over a couple years. So as we sit right now in early 2026 at the time of this recording, millions of Americans are locked out of the home buying process due to high rates, high home prices, cash strap, and other challenges like credit issues and student loan issues that are holding back their credit report. So President Trump has thrown out multiple proposals, mostly focused on the buyer side, to try to stimulate real estate activity, housing activity, and make homes more accessible for more potential prospective buyers. This particular proposal is going to be targeted towards retirement accounts, particularly the 401k, allowing us to tap into a percentage of that 401k with no IRS early withdrawal penalty, which is normally 10%. Use that percentage of that 401k as down payment and closing cost assistance towards the property purchase. And the 401k, instead of completely losing out on that money, will own the equivalent level of percentage in the equity of that home. So what does that mean? That basically means that if you use a 10% down payment from your 401k, that 401k now has a 10% equity stake in the home. So this basically creates diversification for your 401k. So if we took a step by step, what this basically means is that you would be using money out of your 401k for a qualified home purchase. You designate how much you're going to put down. You put it towards down payment and closing costs. You avoid the 10% withdrawal penalty. And then you're reclassifying that portion of the 401k, equity swapping, basically, what you took out of that 401k as a percentage of ownership in the new property that was purchased. So now if that home appreciates 5% a year or 7% a year, the 401k is benefiting from some of that percentage of equity growth. So that's the kind of step-by-step base details that we have so far, is that you wouldn't have to deal with the penalty. And instead of the money just being gone out of the 401k, it's now basically deployed that money into that home purchase and sharing in the equity growth, creating diversification from stocks and bonds into tangible real estate in your 401k. So this isn't a bad proposal. Now, some cons to this, some concerns are that number one, that money is illiquid once it's in the home, unless it's sold or borrowed again out of the home. So that's a concern for some out there, professionals and economists. The other side of the equation is that this is attacking the home affordability issue from the buy side, the demand side, and not the supply side. What that means is you're allowing more people to have more resources and tools to buy homes without addressing the fact that there's still not more or enough homes on the market to be purchased. So this can lead to a significant drive up in equity prices in homes for those who own them, because essentially now you have equivalent level supply, stagnated supply, and you have a higher demand going after that same supply. So it's basic economics 101. These are some of the concerns. The flip side is you are indeed improving affordability by giving people another source of cash to pull from. You're synchronizing the wealth building process because now the 401k and the home are collaborating together in their growth. You are, reducing, you're cutting out any penalties or lost equity or lost funds that, could be saved or, costs in that process if you were to use your 401k normally, which, there is a exception on a withdrawal process for first-time home purchases and 401ks. So that has kind of already existed. I do want to be fair with that. If you dig into what they call ERISA, which is a acronym for a regulatory breakdown on the rules and regulations or legislation around retirement accounts, for first-time home purchases are an exception for dipping into your 401k. But this is equity swap part is really more the unique part about it, where the 401k actually stakes ownership in the home that you're purchasing versus you just having access to the cash to buy the property. It trims down the timeline to get into home ownership. Whatever it would normally take me to save that $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 in cash savings in an inflating economy, somewhat unstable economy, et cetera, all of the different challenges going on in the economic system right now, what it would take for me to save that money, I'm already saving automatically and getting likely contributions from my employer. I'm now able to immediately get to that money without any penalty or negative tax consequence. So that cuts my timeline of years potentially that it would take me to save that money in cash. So it's not a bad proposal. It definitely has a better promise than the 50-year mortgage concept that was tossed out there and some other proposals that have come out. It does have its drawbacks, but I don't know of any proposal that wouldn't. So this one, you guys can comment down below and let me know what you think. Do you think this is a healthy proposal to help address the housing affordability issue? If you were in the situation, or if you are in a situation where you're looking to purchase your first or next home and you're cash strapped, do you see this as a viable option for you if it were to become legislation, if it were to become law and you were able to tap into your 401k? Is this something that you would do, equity swapping the normal stock and bond growth in your 401k and putting a portion of that into the equity of your new home? Would you exercise this strategy if it were available? So comment down below and let me know what y'all think. But I just wanted to cover this really quickly. It was an interesting topic that came up just in the last few days. It's an interesting proposal, and I think that President Trump may be able to get this done circumventing Congress. We'll see if he pushes through. I got credit cousin. I like the proposal, but I think the price is a home needs to come down a little. Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to see, credit cousin. We're gonna have to see on that one. I don't know, man. If President Trump has anything to do with it, and everything he's doing is very, very, very demand side driven that he's focused on. He's looking to get more people in the buying pool on this buying process, and so he hasn't attacked hardly at all the housing supply portion. I think he had like one proposal that I remember him throwing out there about, encouraging builders or whatever the case may be. And then also the federal lands, at one point there was a proposal or an idea thrown out there about using federal lands. But yeah, I don't know, man. The price part coming down at some point that may happen, but it's hard to see it coming right now. So I agree. I think this proposal has some teeth to it. We'll have to see if it actually comes to light or any other details come out about it. And, will there be any limits? Who's going to qualify for it? Is it a first-time home buyer only? We'll have to see. But I don't want to make this one too long. I just wanted to put out the details of what we know so far, put my 2 cents into it. This is why I encourage you to exercise all your financial tools. As I close out, this is why I encourage you to exercise all your financial tools. Your 401k being a prime example, because when the financial system needs to have a quick fix, it can take something that may not seem like a very valuable tool and turn it into a golden nugget in a stroke of a pen. For those of you who probably took for granted your 401ks, barely invest in it, don't have one at all, didn't take advantage of it at all, but you're really interested in buying a home and don't have a lot of cash, this is an example of you passing up on an opportunity. For those of you out there who fit the bill, income hasn't risen as fast as home prices has. Not even close. Not even close. Income has gone up maybe 30-40% in the last 15-20 years. Home prices are near 200% up in the same window of time. It is crazy, the difference between housing prices and the growth in housing prices versus income. But I'm not sure that one's going to get fixed anytime soon either, based on the way our system is navigating economically and policy wise. But great point, Credit Cousin. There's definitely a deficit there. And this is why you have to exercise all your financial tools. If your income's not growing, then you need to be doing your best to tap into 401k opportunities, employee stock purchase plan opportunities, and anything related to the retirement side or getting equity in the company you work for. That's where the system is focused. It's not designed to cater to the worker. The free market capitalism and what's left of the free market capitalism is not designed to cater to the worker. It's catering to the business owner and the investor. And so it's important for you to try to be the business owner and investor as often as you possibly can in your career, in your lifetime, because it is not designed to benefit you as a worker. It's enough to keep you afloat and keep you from marching and protesting. That's about it if you're a worker. There's some companies out there that, are employee friendly, or they invest in their employees and see that as an opportunity to get more production out of their employees. But at the end of the day, generally speaking, the sentiment is simple. We are designed as workers to produce 3 to 4 times the value that we're paid. That is literally basic math in the corporate world. We are designed when we're hired to be a multiplier in value versus what we're paid. We will always fall behind to assets. Our pay will always do that. So it's important for you to exercise all of your financial tools, broaden your financial knowledge, and make good, strong relationships with financial institutions, financial professionals, and other like-minded, business-minded individuals. This is very important, because that's going to be the key mechanisms to closing the wealth gap from, using financial literacy to turn words into wealth. That's what this is about. So it is very important to make sure that you don't get caught in the trap of marching, stepping, crying and whining and protesting about what employees are not getting, because the system it doesn't give a damn, and it's not likely going to give a damn anytime soon. So I received my employee match and I'm fully vested. There you go. That's my guy. I'm the same way. I'm over invested in my 401k. I contribute nearly 20% of my income, my salary, believe it or not, to my 401k. And it's been like that for a while. I'm between 15 and 20%. And I try to increase it every year. So opportunities like this, it makes it even more worth it. My next purchase could be out of my 401k, not bothering my cash. If this comes into life, as a proposal goes into legislation, and some of us are able to tap into this. So great topic. I want y'all to comment down below. Credit Cousin, my guy, I appreciate you lighting it up in the building with the comments, the chats. All my pioneers, welcome back. My new viewers, welcome in. I want y'all to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're catching the replay, I want you to go down, like the video, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts, how you feel about this, and your ideas around this topic. I want you to comment down below. Make sure you're giving the channel, the video, some support, and the channel the support it needs, so I can continue to pour back into and support you. Other than that, I want each and every one of you to stay focused, stay in motion. I'll see y'all soon.